Front and center, right here, baby. Thank you. Come on, baby. There we go. Osprey. In that coconut palm tree, above and to the right of the coconuts, is an osprey. Many people mistake the osprey for a bald eagle, and I myself have made that mistake in the past, because at a quick glance all you see is the white head and the black body, and that's a giveaway for a bald eagle. But I'm quite sure that that's an osprey. And one reason I'm sure of that is because of the sound it makes, although he's silent right now, or she, whichever one that is. I don't see their nests, but I've been hearing ospreys making their call, and it's different from the eagle's cry. They're just different. They make a different sound, and the eagle is much, much bigger. So this is too small, I think, to be a bald eagle. And when you get closer, you'll see that the head's not completely white. It actually has some dark markings on the side, which is another giveaway. My boat is continuously turning. That's just a brown pelican, nothing special, but they're pretty cool. Hi, I'm Russ on sailing vessel Tautog. Location is Fort Pierce, Florida, at anchor in Faber Cove, the same place I was last episode, in fact. And, in fact, my anchor hasn't moved an inch since then. I have not gone anywhere in a week. Hadn't even contemplated it. I made a decision when the hurricane was passing that no matter what happened, I was going to take a week and just be a bum on a boat and try to enjoy life. Historically, my experience tells me that usually the several days after hurricane, the weather is pretty gentle. And it always has been, and it was for us. And I just thought, man, I need a few days of relax. We didn't have much wind, so I couldn't have gone too far. But things are changing now. It's kind of blustery today. It's going to get stormy in the next few days. And I think in another middle of next week, we should see some opportunities to maybe get on the move again. So, watching those dolphins in the Osprey, I think that's a good way to start the video, because that kind of describes what I've been up to the last 7 days. Did do some projects though, and one of them was taking apart and inspecting an old battery charger that I got for free and testing it. I'll show you that. I also did a couple of paint jobs. I've been painting the overhead little by little, the ceiling of the boat, and it's about as fun as painting a ceiling in your house, and it's not fun, but it needs to be done. So I did some of that kind of work, and did engine PMs, the routine kind of stuff that you have on a machine. So, and I've kind of gotten myself out of my lethargy. I've had a lot of relaxation, a lot of sleeping well, and I think I'm kind of getting keen to be on the move again. So let's first take a look at some of the things we've been doing. Well, good morning. It's Thursday, and wind's blowing pretty good out of the north, so no crossing today. Yesterday would have been a perfect day, so we'll get into weather in a few minutes, but this is what weather looks like right now. when you see, turn the music down, right? Yeah, so when you see the wind blowing out of the north like this is a European model, that's the American model. But either one shows the same thing. Our current conditions are sporty, robust winds right here out of the north. You can see if I had just gotten a little bit further south, it'd be calmer. Maybe that's what I need to do. I don't know. But either way, no going to cross the Gulf Stream today. We're going to keep on trying to be patient and waiting for the right time. But remember way back, and when I was in Mexico, and I had two portable refrigerator things I was testing out, and I ran them all night, and I killed my battery, and I had no power at all. And I was trying to charge my batteries using the house charger. I was in a marina, so I turned on the house charger, but it would not charge the battery fully because it wanted to go to equalizing charge after just a few minutes, which really kind of bugged me. And I said then, I would love to find an old school charger, and would you believe that I actually did find one? And it was in St. Petersburg. This was in the giveaway pile. So today's project, since we're kind of waiting on weather anyway, and I don't feel like going ashore at the moment just because it's cold and gloomy and all that, wait till it warms up a bit. I'm going to take this apart, take off the cover anyway, and I'm going to change the cord, because this is a goes-in cord, which doesn't look very right. So we're going to change that. We'll have a new cord over there, which I took off of something else. And we're just going to see if this thing makes any power. And if it does, then there I am. I've got my old school battery charger, just like I always wanted. And so that's today's project. Let's see what we got here. Well, let's see. What I see with my glasses on, I see corrosion on these terminal strips. That's not right. Really big capacitor, but that looks pretty straightforward. Battery 1, battery 2, and grounds. And the AC power in looks pretty straightforward. It is fused on the black line, so it expects black to be hot. The other side of the fuse block goes here, so the fuse itself looks good. So I've got to figure out a way, though. I'm going to have to solder, if I replace the cord, I'm going to have to solder onto the base of fuel holder or make a butt splice right in here somewhere, which is fine. The white is a solder connection also. The paper doesn't look so hot. It looks like this thing has probably heated up and cooled down many times over the years, and sometimes you get a cracked varnish, and sometimes that's what makes the buzzing sound. But all we're interested in today is finding out, does it basically work, is it salvageable, or is it just a big piece of trash? Yeah, so all I really need to do today is find a way to put power onto this. This is my AC 115 input, and I'm planning to get the generator out anyway today because it's going to be pretty cloudy, so I'll need it anyhow. I want to get the battery all the way to 100% today, and I haven't done that the last 2 days. So I'm going to have the generator out anyhow, and if I can just connect this up real quick some way, doesn't have to be really safe, just safe enough that no one dies, and I just want to see if this thing will generate power. It's a pretty basic setup, otherwise it's just what I wanted. The old school battery charger is just that it's not in awesome condition, that's all. A little bit rusty. I mean, the transformer's iron core, you can see, it's got corrosion on it. The terminal board has corrosion on it. The ammeter has corrosion on it, so it's really not a marine grade. I would say it's probably not marine grade, but then, you know, what are you gonna do? It looks like it's from, I don't see any date on this thing anywhere. So, I'm interested anyhow. It's a good project for me. I do kind of like tinkering around, and I do it early in the day because if I did it in the afternoon, I would go through 3 beers. I swear, I naturally want to drink beer when I do jobs like this. So right or wrong, that's a confession for me. This is my test cable, and the switch is off, and the voltage is 0. So let's try to set up a test. Yeah, to say, this is how I do it. Now we're going to turn the switch on. So, interestingly, about 3 minutes ago I did this and it was at 13.9. Now it seems to be reduced a wee bit. I can't explain that. Okay, so first let's see. This is what the rag looks like now. And let's just have me wipe it over this area. Let's see what happens to my rag. This has got water and some bleach. That's all it is. And yes, I use bleach with my bare hands. Okay, that's just a little bit of wiping. Pretty damn gross. And I'm not proud to tell you that, yeah, there's mildew in my boat, and I'll bet there's mildew in every boat. It's a very moist environment, obviously, and you get areas that don't have good ventilation, you get areas that are quite dark, and it's going to happen. Now this boat is, I would say, much better than most, so let me very carefully rotate the camera picture around so I can see the screen. So I have a big hatch here, which is almost always open. This is in the head. Got one above the bed. And I've got the big ones here. 1, 2, 3, 4 big windows, hatches, whatever. And they're normally open, with or without screens. So I get pretty good ventilation turnover up here, but in this area of the boat, not so much. So in this area, that's my bucket of bleach. Yeah, so there's a little window there, a little port light, and the ceiling, the overhead here, I can just see it visually. And it didn't occur to me. Typically, you just don't notice stuff like that. But I mean, I was thinking about painting, and you can see I hit it with some paint, and then I realized, let's just stop, let's clean it first, and then we'll paint it. Because it was just absolutely gross. There's cigarette smoke staying up there, I'm sure, but you look at the bulkheads and you don't see the mildew because they're very dark, but I can see it. I can see that there's nasty shit there. So much rum. Oh my god, I drink too much. In the master chambers, gather for the feast. Oh my god, this is not easy for me. Alrighty, so painted out the overhead, the ceiling, and I painted the bulkheads here a little different color, the brown color, all in an attempt to help make it easier to keep it clean. So now it's time to pull on the surgeon gloves and remove the masking tape and see just how good or poorly I did. Alrighty, so got a spare battery charger ready, and I've got some ceilings painted out. I also fixed the water leak in the galley. I mean, I've been doing stuff, you know. Well, I did other things too. I just can't recall what the hell they were. Reefing lines. I put reefing lines on that I didn't have before, so now I'm able to reef to 1 or 2 reefs on the main very, very easily. I've got the staysail sorted out better with its halyards and some relocation of topside gears so that the staysail boom is free to swing and become self-tacking, because that wasn't always the case. So I think I've got my topsides more squared away and ready for sea. And now it's a question of, well, when you're going to go and where you're going to go when you go. And still the plan is to pass north of the Bahamas, pass north of Grand Bahama Island, and I want to enter the Little Bahama Bank up by Walker's Cay, somewhere around there. There's a lot of ways inside the reef there, get onto the bank where the waves will be much calmer, and then slowly work my way over to Green Turtle Cay and Marsh Harbor. That's kind of the plan. And that's always been the plan that I would stage my departure from here, but I mean, there's not that many windows here where I can, I've been looking at the weather patterns and I haven't seen many opportunities to go and get southerly winds. So it is possible that next week, when the weather calms down after the storm blows through, I might just go south again and get down to Jupiter Inlet, or perhaps even to Fort Lauderdale or West Palm. And there's a reason for that, because the further south you go in Florida, the further removed you are from those cold weather fronts that blow through the United States. If you're in Jacksonville, you feel almost every one of them. If you're in mid-Florida, you feel some of them, like we're feeling right now. But if I got down to Fort Lauderdale, you might only feel 2 or 3 per winter. So my opportunities for crossing the Gulf Stream will be enhanced if I move south one more jump. So either I have conditions to cross the Gulf Stream this week coming, or I don't, and if I don't, I'll be heading south. That's the plan. So I'm studying my charts to see what inlets I would duck into and where I can anchor, where I can get shore access. And I know, just based on some friends who've been in some of these places, I know there's some places I would go for. Hey there, so I'm Russ, Sailing Vessel Talk. Thanks for watching. Not a hell of a lot going on. I discovered a new leak on my engine. It's a diesel leak. It's like, oh my god, it's from the injector pump, and I'm not thrilled about that. I'm nervous about trying to do a repair there, because the engine does work, and but it's leaking about 1 drop a second. So it's like something called the anti-stall device, and I don't even know how that works. So I'm very reluctant to just go removing it, and trying to fix the leak. I need to get educated first. So that's probably something that'll consume me in the next couple of days. And it's possible I might need to pull into a marina so that I can get a mechanic on into the boat to help me fix it, because a drop a second is a lot of fuel going into the bilge. And the other thing that's going on is weather. So right now I've got a pretty nice day in store today. It's Saturday, as I'm speaking now, and it's going to be gentle winds out of the northeast all day, but they're going to pick up with excitement Sunday and Monday, and then it's going to be a lot of moisture coming through on Sunday, and then on Monday some more, and it's basically going to be kind of yucky and stormy in the next few days. So I'm going to sit tight. I've got an anchor that's well set, and I'm just not going to move. Looking to go around Wednesday, Thursday, and based on the wind predictions now, I don't see wind suitable for crossing, so I'm heading for Lake Worth, the Palm Beach area. We call it West Palm. Yeah, so people ask me a lot about weather, and I'm going, well, I'm not a meteorologist, so I can't really help you, but I can tell you with this thing, my one parting bit of wisdom is, in the northern hemisphere, high pressure systems rotate clockwise, low pressure systems rotate counterclockwise. And if you can just commit that bit to memory as a prospective cruising sailor, then I think you're going to be pretty far ahead. And I'm looking at my laptop at the weather forecast, and you can look at Predict Wind all you want. You can look at lots of other sites, but I would suggest to anybody who's interested in living this way, learn how to read isobaric charts. That's my tip for the day. And what's an isobar? It's just a line of constant pressure on the map, and here's what one looks like. And they move. So in the northern hemisphere, the patterns move from west to east, and unless you're down by the equator, in which case the trade winds might dominate, and then they move east to west. So exactly what the weather's going to do, I still need help. I still need to lean on outside resources like Predict Wind and passageweather.com. to help me improve my own ability to predict what weather is going to come and make the right decision based on that. And I think that's about all I need to say. I certainly don't want any of this to come across as though I'm trying to teach anybody about weather, because I myself feel like I just don't know enough at all. But that's where we're at now. Again, I'm Russ, Sailing Vessel Tautog. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Bye.